About that. Why were you in the Philippines?
Well, I was born to missionary parents, and we lived in the Philippines for 5 years. We moved back to the States when I was 3, and I've been going back ever since I was 15. And it was really that my first mission trip when I was 15 that I went over there knowing that my dream and my goal one day was to be an NFL quarterback. That was my dream since I was 6 years old. But when I went back when I was 15, I realized that I wanted to play football as a profession, but what I wanted to do with my life was to minister to kids, because on that first trip I was spending time and hanging out with orphans and with little girls and boys who had been abandoned, had been thrown on the street, had no one to care for them. And so to put an arm around them and love on them and care about them for just a few minutes and to see them smile, ultimately I found out that's what I really wanted to do with my life, and that truly is my passion.
Wow. So being raised in that environment, the bigness of your life, I mean, it went from Nice High School winning championships to University of Florida winning championships, winning the Heisman, and now doing what you're doing in the NFL. What is it that keeps bringing you back down to earth? Is it the background of missionary parents? Is it the poor? Is it the orphan? What keeps you centered?
Well, I think the number one thing for me is knowing that everything that we have is a gift from God, and it can be taken away at any moment, and it's to make the most of it with the talents that God gave us, to make the most of it. And every opportunity or everything that I'm given, I want to make the most of it and be able to represent my talents in a way that are pleasing and glorifying to God. And however I can do that, whatever role I can do that, because if we get proud about it, if you get proud about your athletic ability or anything else, it can be taken away in a split second with an injury or with a tragedy or something happening. And so you ultimately realize that, playing football, it's just a game. Yes, we're very passionate about it. I love the Gators, and y'all love UT, and we care so much about it. But at the end of the day, it's just a game. But what is special is the platform that you have in playing this game. And being a quarterback for the University of Florida and the Denver Broncos, and now the New York Jets, is you have a platform. And my goal and my prayer in my life is to set a great example for kids that are looking up to me, and be a great role model. Be someone that a mom or a dad can look at their son and daughter and say, that's someone that's trying to do it the right way. That's someone that's trying to live with character, strength, and honor. That's someone that's trying to put Christ first. And every time he goes out there, he plays with character and integrity. And I still remember when I was a boy and I was 7 years old, and we were at church, and Danny Werfel, who was the quarterback at the University of Florida, he came to our church. And after church, there was probably 100 kids ran up to see him, and I was probably the 110th kid in line. And he waited, and he signed for every kid. And I remember when it got to me, how excited I was and how nice he was to me, and he signed for me. And I still, to this day, have that autograph in my parents' house in Jacksonville, Florida, and how that made me feel as a little boy. And so now that I have that platform, that opportunity to inspire a kid or put a smile on someone's face, ultimately, that's so much more important than playing football, and I'm so blessed to have that opportunity.
When did it dawn on you that you were a leader? I mean, in fact, do you believe that athletes or prominent figures should take a leadership role? I mean, how do you handle leadership, and when did you become a leader?
Well, I feel, as an athlete, I feel like it's your obligation and a responsibility to be a good role model. And sometimes it's so frustrating to me when you have athletes say, you know what, I'm not a role model. Well, yes, you are. You're just not a good one. And that's frustrating for me. And getting back to what you asked about leadership is, that's something that my dad tried to instill in me at a very young age, is you don't have to be a quarterback or you don't have to be in the NFL to be a leader. And pretty much everybody that is here right now is a leader in some form or fashion. Because all it takes to be a leader is someone that you can influence. That might be your younger brother, your younger sister. It might be your spouse. It might be someone in the neighborhood. But all of you in some form or fashion are leaders, because there's someone that you can influence. And then we have to think about it. How are we influencing? Are we influencing them in a negative way, bringing them down a bad road? Or are we positive influence on their life? But for the most part, every single one of us are leaders and role models in some form or fashion. And then we have to think about it, are we leading him in a good road?
Yeah, that's awesome. Come on, let's thank God for that answer right there.